things that traditional heartland Christians growing up in the flyover country, they believe in hell, and they believe in Satan, and they believe in demons. Yeah. Turns out they were right. So we're all going to have to knock our ego down a few notches and say, oh man, turns out that all that stuff was true. And what's interesting is we're going to see in a minute here, there is a proxy war going on between angels and demons, both of which would constitute extraterrestrial beings, meaning they're not from Earth, but the galaxy itself creates these humans that are, once they go through this evolutionary leap that we're about to have, they become beings with superpowers. They have telekinesis, they have telepathy, they become angels, and they want to help people like us. But there's a law of free will, or law of confusion, is very important, and they can't act directly. So what I'm saying is that this November situation we're heading into is actually much bigger than a choice between two individuals, one male and one female. You expand the lens further, and now it becomes a choice between the DS, the negative group controlling the Earth, or the military, which might not be entirely positive, but they're doing the best they can, and they are very Christian, and they want to see us be okay. And in order for us to be okay, you have to expose what's really going on here. What is really going on here? There is an entrenched power group on Earth that took in the software of the negative. And what did I say that software was? I said it was ritual magic. You wear these costumes, you chant these things, and you get this weird magic trick where you see this creature. And then bad things happen involving a whole lot of red stuff. Okay? That's true. It's a weird backdoor in our galaxy that if you actually do this, it works. And so these reptilians and greys go around from planet to planet, and they teach people how to do this. So Aleister Crowley modernized these ritual practices from a being called Aiwass, and then later called Lam. You look up the pictures of Lam, it is a gray extraterrestrial, and that's in the movie Moment of Truth. Again, thedisclosure.com, actualization, 35 hours of video, type in that word actualization, you get it all. It's very amazing stuff. And this really did give me a spiritual awakening. I wasn't as sympathetic to Christianity as I was once I figured out how real all of this stuff is that most people hold as what we could think of as traditional beliefs. But the traditional beliefs are accurate. There is a demon. There is a demon that shows up in the room with people, and it does things. And it's crazy, and it works. And so there's people who get into this and practice this stuff, but you have to do the most heinous crimes, including crimes against children, or it doesn't work. That's part of what Crowley got taught. You have to abuse people. That's part of what it's about. The whole point of doing black magic is to see the manifestation of these things. It's sort of like a ghost, but it's a very specific, evil-looking, crazy ghost with horns and maybe, everything that you've normally thought of about demons. And different people see different things too, but they typically look like a hybrid of an animal and a human in some way. Horns are very common. Hooves may be common. The whole concept of the devil, the red skin, all that stuff, yeah, that's actually what it looks like. It's crazy. I mean, I never ever thought I would be talking about this stuff, but it turns out our galaxy has this backdoor law that if you actually practice this stuff and do it the right way, you'll see a ghost that's a very specific evil ghost. And it appears to be able to move around and touch people and kill people and do crazy things. I'd heard about this stuff for years. It wasn't until I wrote Michael Prophecies that I tied it all together in the course of 7 books with these messages, because after I read The Law of One in 1996, I began receiving telepathic messages from angelic Christian ETs. You're not going to be lying there in bed at night and have a demon walk into your room. You have to do the ritual magic. You have to offer a human sacrifice. You cannot see these things if you don't do that. It's almost, you would have to at least have done it before, and then maybe you could get away with an animal or something and still get to interact with one. But you still have to sacrifice. So And by the way, if you screw around with this stuff and you don't know what you're doing, if you don't have a group who knows what they're doing, you can get killed by the demon. It will murder you. It will tear you apart. Demons do not like us. No human being is favored by a demon, no matter how much you've done for them, no matter how much you've helped them, no matter how much you've supported them, no matter how many victims you've offered them. They will kill you at the first chance they can get. They will rip your skin off of your body at the first chance they can get. Don't ever believe they will support you. They will betray you. They will lie to you. They will steal from you. They will do everything they can to drag you into their hellhole, which is literally hell. And they will torture you to death. And then you'll have to go through it over and over again for a while, for an eon, whatever that turns out to be, however much your karma warrants. Because again, in the universe, there's one infinite creator and it gives us free will. You're allowed to do evil things to other people, and we have multiple incarnations. That's another big part of the law of one. It's not just one lifetime. In the past, in other lifetimes, you might have been a real son of a bitch. You might have murdered people. You might have raped people. You might have tortured people to death slowly. This usually happens in primitive societies. It's very common. Guess what? If you did that before, there's different ways to process your karma, but you're going to have to work off your karma. And then the universe allows for certain people to be psychopaths, where their brain has these 17 regions, most of which are shut down except for 4 of them. And it's all the frontal lobes. That's where the emotions are. That's where love is processed. It's where spirituality is processed. These people are not going to be able to hear the voice of angels. They're not going to be able to channel. They're not going to be able to bring in higher guidance. They're not going to feel loving. They're not going to get enjoyment off of being loved and loving in return. They get, when you have this brain print, they become narcissistic. They become dominant. They become controlling. They're highly jealous. They hate people who are not like them. They think that they're different, and their goal is, there's a whole new part of the brain that activates for them, and that's how they get satisfaction. They don't get satisfaction from love. There's a part of the brain called the striatum, which is in the corpus callosum, connects the 2 hemispheres together. The striatum is associated with sexual pleasure. And in the brains of psychopaths, the striatum lights up when they see people being tortured or hurt. And so think about that. You now have a person who is a bully. The main thing they like in life is to be a bully. They love it. They love torturing people. They love manipulating people, and they love controlling people. They want to set people up where other people do the hard work and they take the credit and they get the money.